Hello, how are you? I'm super excited to be here on live with you at, 10 a.m. It was like BST. I got like very clear instructions, you guys. I never get like really long instructions from like the spirit guides or from God or, whatever voice is present for me at that time in my life of whatever realm you want to call it. I normally just get like, you've got to do this right now. And it's sometimes not the most convenient times, but I like do it and it always is like magical and I feel so much better. But this one I got last night and it was like, you're meant to go live 10 a.m. Sunday, PST. So here I am doing the thing as I was instructed. So when you join, say hello. Let me know where you're tuning in from on this beautiful planet Earth we are existing on. I always love to hear that. And let me know maybe what's your favorite planet to like visit if you could ever visit. I used to feel like my favorite planet, hello Louise, my favorite planet was Pluto. When I was a little girl, I really liked that one. But I think because I'm turning 28 in about 6 months and that's my Saturn return, I think Saturn is what I really like right now, what I really enjoy. So anyway, let me know your favorite. So I wanted to, well, first off, before I get into anything, if you've never been introduced to me, my name is Colleen Gallagher. I'm super passionate about empowering people to fall in love. I'm a creator, so I have multiple online programs or experiences. I have an oracle deck. I have multiple books. I have blogs. I have, I don't even know how many social media content. It would be like a whole library, probably 2 libraries. So why I do all this though, like why I show up the way I do or why I share the way I do is I had cancer at a really young age. So I had cancer at age 14. You can still see the scar on my neck. And it was a really traumatizing and awakening experience for multiple reasons. One, when you're that young, you're at 14. I mean, maybe it's a little bit different now. But cancer was not like a mainstream topic. It was just in like the midst of it's becoming like a thing that everyone knows someone who's had cancer, So it was traumatizing in the fact that I didn't understand what was going on in my reality and I didn't really want to deal with it because all I knew is I felt like I was ugly because I had a scar on my neck and for whatever reason that felt like it was the most important things to me at the time. I had a lot of people, men specifically, make fun of me for my scar on my neck at a really young age. And I had a comment kind of brought up about race, which really kind of opened my eyes to the injustices of race. And I had a long-term diagnosis that I would be on medication for the rest of my life, or that when I wanted to have kids, I'd need to go into the doctors and they need to change their medication, and it was just going to be a whole like an extra process already on top of a process. So for those of you who've been following me, so 4 years ago, 2017, when I moved to New Zealand from America, I left my corporate job and I moved across the world to New Zealand where I didn't know a single soul, you guys. Like I didn't know anyone. Like it's crazy looking back. And built my courage, trusted my gut, did the thing, went through excruciating anxiety that like was coming out of my body. Like I remember, you guys, like you might think it's so easy or make my life look easy, but you guys, I will never forget the traumatizing event of sitting on that plane from LA to Auckland, New Zealand, which is 12 hours flight, and I was convulsing. Like it literally felt like there were things being ripped out of my body. Like that is the best way I can describe it to you. It was the most horrifying and painful thing. At the same time, I was like so committed to my dreams. Like I knew there had to be something different in this world. I was like so committed to there being another way. I was so committed to that there was another way I could create my life instead of just waking up, doing this 9 to 5, planning for retirement, hoping one day it's all going to be better, like traveling on my own. Like there had to be another way. And so I remember that like distinctively. And I want to pause there for a second because a lot of people, I think when you look at my life now, I'm 3 years into my business, 4.5 years into my journey of like leaving the matrix. 4 years to April. So it's 4 years to the day, almost probably, of leaving to Auckland, New Zealand. So you guys, it wasn't easy. Like there was a lot there. You know, I remember I was in Ultra Miami with, so I dated this guy, just did a post, and he had a lot of really beautiful things. And there was just some events that we obviously didn't have the emotional maturity to understand what was happening, to move through some things. But, I was at Ultra Miami with a mutual group of our friends, which was kind of a silly thing looking back. But anyway, I was friends with them before, and we went, and you guys, I was like emotionally depressed. I mean, I was depressed. I was distraught. Like I felt like I just lost, even though we weren't ever married. Like I literally felt like I lost this man that I was married to. Like it was like, I loved this man so much. Like it was actually, looking back, like insane how much I loved this man. Like I remember graduating college. It made no sense. I didn't want a boyfriend. But I really fell in love with the man. Like we traveled together, and he showed me, a lot of, he you know what it was? He allowed me to experience a part of myself that I didn't know was there. And for that, I'm always really grateful for him, because he got me into a different type of music, into a different way of thinking, into actually being okay to be myself. And I really hadn't had that, at an intimate relationship like that probably ever in my life. And he was really just an incredible, beautiful person. But when there was one event that happened, which was traumatizing, I couldn't move through it. Like he didn't protect me in a situation, and it was horrifying. I never wish, men, this is why it's so important, men, we have you rise. It's so important, men, that you are here, that you are doing the work, that you're present, because men, your role is always going to make sure that women feel protected. Women and children feel protected. That's a huge part of your role. And I can't imagine how painful it must be at sometimes for a man to feel like you can't protect your woman or child. Like if there's a health issue like cancer, or your child's in a car accident. I don't know, like I can't imagine like the man biology of what happens internally to you. Like that has to cause so much disruption, because you can't do the inherent thing you feel called to do. And so this man didn't protect me in a situation. I write about it, and I don't write about it. I might have in my first book. And this was painful, you guys. Like I remember sitting there being like, will my life go on? Like I remember thinking and feeling, and like I was showing up to work, you guys. I was like doing good, but like I did not want to be there. Like I did not want to be present at work. I did not want to be present in my body. I definitely didn't want to be present in my life. Like it was like, I literally thought the man I married, like this guy I planned, like, well, we both kind of planned things together for a future, wasn't there. Like didn't protect me in a time of something that was horrifying. Like it was just, I don't know how to describe it. Like my mom once told me this one time, and I don't even know if it can relate, but I feel like it's the closest. My mom one time said, because I was traveling all over the world, if you guys know, I'm an only child, and I was like being sassy at her because she was saying like, you shouldn't be doing this alone. Like, do you understand? And I'm like, we're just in this whole dynamic of mother-daughter stuff. And my mom said to me, and I'll never forget this, Colleen, I don't think you understand what it's like to have a child. It's literally like your heart is walking outside in the world around, like your whole heart. Like if something was to happen, it's like you have to have so much trust in this heart thing that's in your body, that's outside of you walking around. And I remember thinking like, wow. And the only I can relate this breakup to, like this was probably still today, like even these two situations I just went through, this was still the worst heartbreak, like the most traumatizing. Like it was so horrifying, because I really saw a life with this guy. Like I really saw a future. And when this happened, it was like my heart walking outside of me was like gone. Like a piece of me that he activated that I didn't have yet. I didn't know that part of me existed. He now left, and I didn't know, well, we both left, but like it was like this thing that that he created in me, almost like it was always there, but he like brought it to like see that was okay to be me. That was okay for me to be that person. And it was just gone. Like, it was like this, I can't even really take myself back because it's like speechless, like you're breathless. Like literally it's like breathless. And I went on this journey to New Zealand, and I did I started to create my life. And I really started to create. I really started to get in deep into like, what is it that I meant to be? What is it I meant to experience? And I got really deep into meditation and yoga. Like, I was doing it like 4 hours a day, you guys. Like 4 hours. Like, I know that seems obsessive, but to those of you who are on here who have gone through like heartbreak or have gone through anything with mental health or anxiety or cancer, like when you've gone through something that is a life-altering event, you have to have an outlet. There has to be a time, and it's gonna look crazy. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, moving across the world to New Zealand looked crazy. Traveling around the world by myself, like there was no partner, there was no man. It was just me and my business on my laptop, traveling at 24 years old. Like, it looks insane. Like, you look crazy. To the average society, to the way that the world has structured, you would appear crazy, but you're not actually crazy. Doing yoga for 4 hours a day would appear crazy, but it's not actually crazy. Like, doing things to create, like creating this video to share your truth, sounds like you're a effed up girl, like, to people. It sounds like you are crazy or inherently there's something wrong, but at the same time, those people didn't get cancer in their throat because they didn't speak their truth, because they didn't speak their reality. And one thing I know that if you're here is that you've gone through some things and you're not speaking about it. You're holding it in because you're so ashamed. You feel so ashamed of what has gone on in your life. It seems so horrifying. It seems so embarrassing. It seems like, who is even gonna believe this story, A, because it's just so crazy, and B, if I even tell this story, who's gonna wanna be around me? Because it's so embarrassing, or it's like, so how did I even let this manifest in my life? And you guys, I get that. Like, I carried a lot of shame for a long time. And even like the most recent, like that I just shared on the guy who got married, one thing I responded in his text message was, shame on me and for falling for men like you. And I said, shame. Like, I took all the shame and guilt and things when it wasn't my fault. I fell in love. Like, I really loved a man, and he took advantage of that. And I was naive to it. I was innocent to it. And there's nothing to feel bad or guilty or shameful about. It's happened to all of us. The worst thing that can happen is that you have events like this happen in your life and you say nothing, you do nothing, you create nothing to help other people. And that's why I'm so passionate about this new online program I just created, which is called Create, Write, Share, Receive. Because a lot of us, we've gone through events in our life that I wouldn't wish upon my worst enemy. And at the same time, I write about it in my third book, we had a soul contract. We agreed to go through these traumatic life experiences because we are meant to create something from them. So like, here's my third book, right? Probably one of the most horrifying stories in my life. Overcome trauma and heartbreak, experience the unexplainable, and truly fall in love. I would not wish this story, what happened, on anyone. Not even my worst enemy. I wouldn't wish this even on someone who is evil. To have two people conspire, because they're in a relationship together, conspire about you to use your body to have their children, unbeknownst to you, also try and have you take $250,000 of your savings and put it into their company so that you'd have no money, they'd have the baby, your body, and it'd be very easy for them to make a custody argument on them getting the child. I mean, it's horrifying. Like, could you imagine, how did someone even get entangled into people like that? And these people see nothing wrong with what they did. These people are sick. They literally don't see anything wrong with what they did. Nothing. And can you be okay with that? Can I be okay with that? I allowed myself to enter into such an unhealthy dynamic because I didn't know any better. And can I accept and love myself through it, that there was something I could create out of this experience, which was a beautiful book, which is a beautiful healing box. If you haven't seen it, it's on my website. Beautiful crystals. My daughter that I'm actually adopting in this life, like I created a whole being out of this book that most people would have just went through something horrifying and never had anything else. I created 12 principles that co-created really, that I share with people, the book's not even out yet. June 8th is the day that it releases and people are already having life-changing events from it. Like, you've got to understand that these events that have happened to you, there's an opportunity to create here. There's an opportunity for you to share. There's an opportunity for you to write it out. There's an opportunity for a plan to happen on your healing, on your transformation. You've got to understand that this pain, the only way that it's going to heal is to be let out, is to have a space for the energy to move. Like I said, when I was leaving America and I was going to New Zealand, I remember I made a commitment to myself. I'm going to be better for me. I'm going to be better for me. And I did so many like small things that I started to really do and really tap into. But you've got to make the commitment. You've got to have the choice in you that you are going to take this pain, this thing you've went through, you're going to create something, you're going to write about it, you're going to share about it, and you're going to receive from it. And that's exactly why I created this 4-week course that we're starting on Wednesday. So I want to leave it here in the comments so you guys can... Okay, maybe it's not here. I'll leave it in afterwards. So weird, I thought I copied it. So I want you to click the link in the comments, read the details of what it is. It's a low-end offer. It's less than, I don't want to say the price on here, but anyway, because I think it's like Facebook messes it up if you do that. It's like literally a low-end offer. It's like super, super low. So it's like a no-brainer, and the payment plans I do it's a no-brainer. Like if you are someone who is ready to go on a healing journey, you are someone who's ready to be transformed, you're someone who wants to create a life that you love, you're someone who wants to take this pain and create something beautiful, alchemize your experience, you want to understand how to write things, you want to either become a writer, you want to just write out a business plan, you want to write out a creation plan, you want to write out how am I going to sustainably do this thing of creating. Like it just seems so hard, Colleen. It seems like I don't know I can create, I'm not creative. Like I teach you how to write this out so it makes sense for you and it's not like never ending and you get bored. Like I teach you the really good steps of this and then how to share it. So I teach you how to like actually communicate, show up on video, communicate with your friends, communicate with the person at the coffee shop, like whoever that it is. I teach you how to communicate it, share it so that you can receive in the form of clients, income, impacts. You receive in so many ways. It's hard to you receive gifts through people that are just incredible. Like you receive people opening their heart and sharing their lives to you. Like you become the person that you wish you had when you were going through shit. Like I can't tell you, like it's almost like I probably get around 50 messages a day between everything about the people that open their hearts up to me in messages. Like basically I'm a random stranger and people that like are opening what their experience is and wanting to rise. You guys, that's the greatest thing you can receive. Like, can you imagine? Like, it makes me tear. Like, can you imagine the pain that, when I was going through pain, I didn't have a lot of people I could reach out to and just share openly what was happening. That was not in my reality. I had some not really good friends, some toxic friends looking back that said some really mean things and wanted me to get over it and get over it and get over it. Don't you see these people are on with their life? Get over it. Like, it doesn't work like that. We can't just get over something that's so heartbreaking where our heart was literally damaged in a second. And if you can, you're not actually going on the healing journey and the healing process. And there's some people who sure, like they're not as emotionally or creative in tune. Creatives like us, people like me who are creatives, we are innovators. We're people that literally change how society works. Like we understand fundamentally emotions and people better than people understand themselves because of the energetic information we receive by simply looking at someone's name or looking at a photo or being next to them. We fundamentally can't just rush through something. We're receiving so much information about the world at any given time. It's not, you can't just slap a Band-Aid on something and say, get over it. Like, come on, get on. It doesn't work. We need space to actually create and understand what's happening inside of us, to then write about it so it's a sustainable plan, to share it, to then receive. But this receiving of people and income and things and the magic and the glory and all the things that you think you so badly desire right now, it's gonna look so differently, because this receiving part, it's like you start to receive deeper creations. You start to receive deeper meaning in your purpose. You start to receive different business infrastructures. You start to receive different types of clients. You start to receive different ways of how people are influencing this world. Like the people that I talk to now, like what type of frameworks, what type of theories, what type of coding, AI that they're doing, like the people that I'm meeting now, like what they're doing, I couldn't have even dreamed these people existed if I wanted to. But if I wasn't creating, if I wasn't writing, if I wasn't sharing, then I couldn't be receiving these people. I couldn't be receiving the dreams of the people. I couldn't be receiving all the people that want to help me rise, because they inherently wouldn't understand what's going on inside of me, because I haven't taken this time and space to create that tangible thing for people to understand. So that's really what this course is. That's really why this program's here. It's for you if you've gone through some pain and you're wanting to, transmute it. And the other duality, it's just here if you're someone who's wanting to grow your business differently. You're wanting to understand, is there another way? Is there another way besides the mainstream marketing tactics? Is there another way that I can actually be myself, unravel, remember my truth, my first book, Live Your Truth? Is there a way that I can do this while using technology, social media, which is my second book, so that you can actually be an educator? You can actually be someone who's beating out the outdated old mainstream education that has psychologically damaged a lot of us. We were bullied, we were made fun of, teachers didn't understand us, teachers told us mean things. Like, I remember there was a teacher, I can tell you this. I remember there was a teacher one time, I didn't really want to read this book. I was like, this is like a stupid book. I don't feel like I'm ever going to use this in my life. Why am I required to read this book? I was asking these questions when I was in high school. Why am I required to read this when it's never going to be like, well, that's just the curriculum and it's going to help you build your skill sets? Like, what the fuck? I don't want to read this book. Like, I remember I would read a page and I'd be like, I don't even know what I just read, because it was so negative, so dark. I couldn't even receive what I was reading. I remember another teacher, this was really crazy. So there was a guy, and I remember this in my first book. There was a guy, he actually ended up committing suicide, but he told me in class that I was stupid because of a scar on my neck and that I was ugly. It was just so silly. And this teacher, I said something, I said, shut up, you know what I'm saying? And the teacher said, don't be dramatic, Colleen. I was 14 years old. I looked at that teacher, I will never forget, and I said, if this was your daughter and she just spoke to you like that, would you say that to your own daughter? The teacher just turned around. Insane. And then I did this other program in high school that was an international baccalaureate program, and I hated it. I wanted to get out of it. And so I got out of it, and a random kid in school comes and asks me about it. And I was like, oh, this is why I didn't like it, And the 40-year-old woman, I don't even remember her name, or I do remember her name, I'm not saying it. This 40-year-old woman who ran it at the school comes up and is yelling at me, at a 15-year-old kid, 14, 15-year-old kid, about stating my opinion because a child asked my opinion. Lady, I have a freaking right to say my opinion. I didn't like your program. I got out of it. It's crazy. You guys, it is crazy to think what some of these teachers have done. And it's crazy to think this is just me. I can only imagine what some teachers have said that didn't, it's just out of control with the public health, health system, but public schooling system has done it, because it didn't give you the space to create. You had to fit into their system. And this program is specifically for you if you know that you want to play in another system. You know that there's something else available to you. There's another way of thinking. There's another way of being. There's another way of expressing. There's another way to earn and receive and create a legacy, create a space for people to come. That's what we're being asked to create right now is men create the space, women create the space, men protect the space, allow these conversations that need to be had be heard. This is why we have racial issues right now. This is why we have pandemic issues right now. This is why we are in the middle of World War III right now, psychologically with warfare, and people aren't understanding. This is the space for you to get in so you can understand creation of what's happening inside of you for you. I'm just really passionate about this, you guys. I gotta keep going, but I just feel like I had so much, like even the past 3 days, if you've watched my content, you guys, my emotions, my moods are like an ocean, like they really are. And I'm not gonna like be sorry about that or feel bad about that as a business leader or a activator, or she's, inconsistent. I'm not gonna feel bad about that. I don't believe any single person on here, if you were being honest and you're a true creative, your emotions aren't that way. The only person that's not in a creative space like that is maybe someone who's just living a mundane life, living out of mundane finance or electrical or healthcare systems that you have to do the same thing every day because that's what they say. They put this structure on here. This is the law. So this is how you do it. Of course, you're going to be bored. Like, you're boring. Your industry is boring. Of course, you're going to have the same emotions. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing exciting about your life. So I just want you to know there's another way. I just think that you're allowed to express who you are. You're allowed to create. You're allowed to write it. You're allowed to share it. And you're allowed to receive from it in more ways than you'll ever know. And don't let this world trick you into thinking anything else is possible. So with that, feel free to leave questions. Feel free to share this. I'd super appreciate it. Or if you know anyone who this would be a fit for. The program starts on Wednesday, on April 21st. So today is Sunday. The early enrollment ends on Monday at the 19th at 12 p.m. PST. I will leave the link in the comments, or you can feel free to message me, create. This is a super short launch. All of my launches are going to be short from here on out, you guys. I tried to do a 10-day launch. I just did a post about it. It doesn't work. I get bored. So if you are on here and you go, Colleen, I listened to what you said. I feel like I need to do this or get involved in your energy. This is the way to do it. I move very quickly, you guys. I move very quickly. I have a lot going on in my life. I have a lot of projects. I'm always creating new things. When I do something and you feel it, get involved. Don't question it. I understand that sometimes we feel anxious about money, or sometimes we're like, I don't know how the money's going to show up or things. I had a lot of times like that, you guys, and I got over it. Are you committed to your dreams? Do you want to be a creative? Do you want to influence culture, and do you want to influence the world, or do you want to not? It's just really that simple. And if you want to do it, then you're going to trust it. You're going to get the credit card. You're going to call the friend. You're going to spend the money, and you're just going to trust. And it's okay. If you're just not ready, you don't want to live your dreams, that's fine. I'm just not the person for you. I'm the person that's here to help you really start creating and changing the world and influencing the structures of society. Because in my heart, I truly believe this, that when you play this stupid bullshit game of money, well, I don't know if I have the money, or it's not there, there's people suffering. There's people that have way less than you, and you already have way more, and that's simply a shift for you to shift in perspective, that you can do whatever you want to create what you need to create to actually impact and influence people, instead of being a victim and not doing what you need to create so other people are still suffering because you aren't creating. I know it's a little bit harsh, but that's just really how I feel about it, because I had a lot of people that helped me on my journey that if they weren't showing up, you guys, especially online, my reality would be very different right now. And so I think that you have a responsibility, just as I had a responsibility when I wrote this third book that I didn't want to write, really. I was really embarrassed by it, and it's very controversial, but I showed up and I did the thing, and I'm so proud of myself for it. And I think that's what makes the difference of someone being a dreamer and someone becoming free, and you staying stuck in the never-ending cycle of victimhood, shame, and judgment, of self-judgment. So that's harsh, but it's what needs to be said. So I'll leave the link in the comments. Look through it. I love you. Share this. And remember, the only thing that is going to save you is you, and really starting to cultivate your relationship with sacred love so that you can turn your life into the greatest love affair. I love you.